muddy, but it's not wet.
This video is brought to you by the Disc Golf Depot. Check out discgolfdepot.com for more information, or go and check out the shop today. Hello, welcome back to the channel. I am the Disc Golf Nerd, and welcome to my review of the MVP Glitch. This is a Frisbee style disc golf disc with overmold technology. Pretty wild flight numbers that I don't necessarily disagree with. This is a disc that's very hype. I'm sure there's a million other videos here on YouTube about it, but I've also avoided all of that just to try to test this thing fully independently, see how it behaves for me and the other throwers that I've used in this video. We got Andy, we also got Dom Griffin throwing a few shots from last year, and I'm excited to bring you guys a full Disc Golf Nerd disc review on this disc to throw into the playlist with over 315 others that I've been building for over a decade now to try to build a database for you guys to reference in order to help you find the discs that are best suited for your game. Gyro, overmold technology, glitch, hybrid catch disc. Kind of an interesting description, but it is essentially, again, a Frisbee style disc golf disc. Neutron soft plastic, which is great. One of my favorites from MVP over the years. The flight numbers are 1700. What do I think about these? I mean, the 7's a little bit crazy. I feel like if any disc is going to go beyond like a 6, it needs to be pretty substantial. And this disc is substantial. It's very noticeable. You'll see it in all the flight footage. The thing floats in the air for days. So I think it's probably pretty accurate in terms of the flight numbers. You could maybe put a 1 for fade under certain circumstances, but not really. I mean, you're going to see me and Andy both throw this thing on a dead straight laser beam, start to finish. This particular one, we tested 2 of these. This particular one, which is kind of a little bit of a stain burst on the underside there. This one was a bit more flippy for sure. So I'd probably go -1 for this particular one. So unfortunately, they're not super consistent from disc to disc. We did see that this one definitely consistently rolled to the right just that bit more. We didn't always have that problem, but it was something that we noticed during testing. Let's take a closer look at the overall rim design of this thing. Again, you can see the depth. It's not like crazy deep. You know, it's not uncomfortable to me. I like the rounded edge. I like the fact that this angle here kind of comes in a bit. Hopefully you can see that there. And then there's a little bit of kind of underside from that Neutron plastic on the inside coming up over the outside of the rim there. Pretty characteristic for all the gyro overmold stuff. Let's put it up next to some other options. First of all, the Rattler. And this disc was kind of the OG in this type of arena that I know of. Obviously, there's older stuff that predates this, you know. But in terms of like a disc golf disc made by a disc golf company and having this shape, you know, this is one of the oldest ones that I'm aware of and the first one that I ever really had. I have had this Pro D Rattler along with one other one in my stock now for like several years, and I've never thrown them. I got them for a video I wanted to make with Andy, and we just never got around to it. But here it is. So we might do some kind of a glitch versus Rattler type video in the future. If you're interested in that, let me know. So you're going to see, hopefully right there, that the glitch is not quite as deep as the Rattler. The Rattler has more of that lid, ultimate disc, straight up ultimate disc shape. You can also see kind of slopes down there on a consistent angle, where this one, it almost, you know, it runs into that underside there. So it has a bit of like a beaded feel that I do notice when it locks in my index finger there when I'm throwing this thing, typically with a grip that looks something like that, right? So it is definitely a better feel in the hand than the Rattler. I don't think anybody's really going to argue with that other than fans of this particular disc. Another disc definitely of note in this type of design is the Luft Discs Hydrogen 1200. Similar speed. This thing is a little bit kind of more stable feeling though. You can put more pop on this guy for me. This particular plastic still has like a little bit of a tick up, but it's incredibly neutral start to finish. Not as glidey as the glitch, but if you want something that's not as touchy, kind of more of a golf disc type stability, the Hydrogen is a really interesting disc for you to check out. I have a full review on it, of course. And it is also quite similar to the Rattler, but the Hydrogen is a bit shallower than the Rattler, and also kind of how we talked about with the glitch, it kind of flattens out just that little bit towards the bottom there, and it has just a hair more of a golf disc type shape. I definitely like both of these better than the Rattler in general, based on the ESP ones that we reviewed a couple years back. I bet you I would like that Pro D one. Again, I just never bothered to get out and throw the thing. Both of the ones we tested were 151, and I'm not exactly sure why they're all 150 class, if that's just what they're going for in terms of its ability to play catch with it without it being heavy and, you know, uncomfortable to catch and grab with your hand while it's flying, or if it's just a matter of that's how they want them to behave, is in this lighter weight, or maybe they're not capable of making them at heavier weights. I think that's unlikely. Again, I don't know. Maybe they've said this somewhere in the literature. I really don't look into any of the copy on these discs anymore. I just get them, throw them, see what they do, report that to you guys. But yeah, I love the soft feel of it, so that's nice. Maybe that's part of the deal, is a little bit less dense plastic, giving it that nice soft give in the hand. But it's not a problem. But I think if these were to come out in, you know, 165, even maybe some 170s, 175s, I think some players, myself included, might like throwing it that bit more on the disc golf course in terms of having a bit more weight in the hand to put some pull on this thing. So we talked about the plastic, the design, the flight numbers. We compared it side by side with somehow 2 other Frisbee style golf discs I have in the inventory. And there's nothing left to do but talk about the flight of this thing. So, as I said, I had multiple throwers out there testing this thing along the way. We had Dom Griffin throw it a few times when I was able to connect with him to film last year. He had a little bit of trouble controlling it. It's not a disc he was super comfortable with, but he still threw some nice lines. You can see how long it floats for him when he gets it up in the air with some spin on it and stuff, and his form is really good. He throws much farther than me. He throws somewhat farther than Andy. But me and Andy were a little bit better at controlling this thing on the angles that we wanted to and being able to throw it just laser straight all the way. It's really, really fun to throw. Andy should absolutely be bagging this thing. He would do so if he wasn't like an old man who was really boring and just throws the oldest, most boring discs ever. It would absolutely be a good disc for him to have in the bag, and one that he would, I'm sure, throw effectively out there on the course. You can see how far he's able to throw it, how much glide he gets out of it. He can throw it on hyzer, which impressed me. I pretty much found it as a disc I could throw on a little bit of hyzer or pretty flat and without overpowering it, and just have it fly laser beam straight. I really wasn't able to do much else with it. You know, I either pulled it over accidentally a little bit a few times during testing, or I threw an absolute rope all the way. So that was basically all I could really do with it. Andy was able to get it to fly on hyzer, which was pretty interesting to me. Other than me really trying to exaggerate it and throw it up high, I'm not sure I would be able to do that. I was really just throwing it on laser lines. I enjoyed throwing it enough that I put it in my bag for now. I'm going to continue to test it and use it out there on the course and see how it actually functions in certain situations. I want to see how it handles on downhill shots when its natural desire to continue to fly straight until the gravity kind of fully runs out of steam and it has to drop. I think it's going to have that ability, like kind of like my flippy magnets, to just float down a hill in a really beautiful way, and I really want to test that. So I'm hoping to run into a course that has that ability relatively soon, and I'm, you know, genuinely curious to see how useful it might be on certain approach shots and different kind of tricky touch tee shots as well out there on the actual disc golf course. So I'll have one of these in my bag for the foreseeable future while I mess around with it. It would also be a great disc just to have to warm up and play catch and mess around and throw fun shots with. You know, I don't necessarily consider it to be a disc that I'm likely to, you know, go to in situations where I'm playing legitimate golf rounds and scoring rounds and stuff like that. But you never know. I'm definitely able to throw some nice lines with it, so it's possible. As just a disc that I got to try out because I figured I should and you guys be interested in, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, to be honest. Like, it's a really fun disc. You know, I had no hate towards it going in. You know, I wasn't expecting to dislike it per se, but it's a really fun disc to throw. I've got to give it up to him. So that's my review on the MVP Glitch. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you once again to the Disc Golf Depot for sponsoring this video. Check the links in the description to order online with them, or also check out the shop, all the hours and all that type of stuff. If you're in the area, go down there and do some shopping. What are you waiting for? They have everything you could possibly need. Tell them I sent you. Big shout out to everybody who helps support the channel. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you very soon. Cheers.
Hey, Disc Golf Nerd.
Yeah.
Something wrong with the camera.
Oh, is it glitching?
It's glitching.